Hi. This video is an outlet for me to speak my mind and try to find some solutions to some problems that I've been experiencing recently, and talk on the topics of depression, gender dysphoria, binge eating, some random ass topics that are important to me and I have been wanting to talk about. Like, one of them is also struggling to communicate, and that brings us to the reason of this video. Like, because I struggle to communicate, I just want to sit and have a talk with myself. At first I thought of recording my face while doing it, but I thought there was nothing interesting in that. Like, it could have worked, but I got way too anxious and couldn't collect my thoughts. So I thought maybe drawing could have eased that a little bit. But I still am having trouble collecting my thoughts, so this won't flow out. This will be patchy and rough, and I don't care, because other than giving myself an outlet to share my thoughts with myself and trying to discuss and find solutions and release some of the anxiety, I also want to capture a change that has yet to happen. What I mean by that is not in a seize the day or not in a live, laugh, love sense. I mean that I really despise the state that I am in right now, and I really want to actively do something to change that way. And I really want to capture those attempts, beginning with actively thinking about my struggles, because I've been avoiding that for 2 months. Like, I really actively surpassed my thoughts, so it couldn't have lead to a solution. I really got scared of solving my problems because my mind made it a bigger deal than it already was. And like, I think many people blame themselves for wanting to hide from their problems, and I think that's perfectly normal to blame yourself for that, because you're the reason, obviously. But I think it's also pretty normal. Like, that sounds pretty human to me. It's not that every time we face a problem, maybe sometimes we can't have the courage. I think that's what happened with me. I just scared off. Of course, it's more than that, but for starters, I should stop blaming myself for wanting to run, because it has already happened. I cannot change that right now. Of course, I can change wanting to run away right now and making it take a longer time that it already has. I can change that, but I can't change that I have wanted to run off and hide in the past, and that I did that. So, for starters, I accept that. I did that. I accept it. I don't know what I'm going to do with accepting it, but I just do. So what I wanted to talk about is, firstly, depression. Yeah, I'm really not experienced with its mechanics, but I have experience with it, as in I have struggled with it in the past and now. So this will be just from experience and not actually giving insight about its mechanics. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm sorry for that. I actually am sorry. It would have been cool if I was a psychiatrist and was vastly knowledgeable about it. But I think having experience is good enough or to ramble about it. And yeah. First experience with depression was in 8th grade, which was the year that I was also getting ready for the high school entrance exams, which also happened to be a time of struggling with heavy gender dysphoria. It was actually the heaviest of, like, in my life, that was the worst time of gender dysphoria that I have ever experienced as a trans person. Because your body is going through a lot of changes when in adolescence, and it's even hard for a cis teenager to cope up with those changes, and it's even harder for a trans teenager. So that was a problem. And also my mother got diagnosed with breast cancer at that time, and of course mothers tend to be important for their children usually, but I think she was more important for me than average, because I really despise my father figure, and she was the only parental figure that I took seriously, and she's actually a really, really good friend of mine. Like, I really have good relationship with her, and my relationship with my mother is greatly important to me, and I have a lot of guilt from my childhood with my relationship with her that I still haven't released. I was after a point in my childhood, I was really a demon child, you could say. I would throw fits all the time. If my, like, let's say my pigtails are not symmetric or something, like my hair is parted a little bit asymmetrical, I will throw a fit. Or maybe my pajamas don't match, like the top and the bottom, like I will throw a fit and refuse to wear anything. Like, I don't know why I did that. I was just really attention seeking, I guess, because my father didn't used to give me any attention. So maybe I thought maybe I was seeking all the attention that I could get from my mom by being a total bitch. If I could go back in time and change that, I definitely would, because she really didn't deserve that. Because she's like the best person that could ever exist, you know? And she had to deal with a spoiled ass bitch like me, because I had her. I was so spoiled because I had her. I wish I knew better and treated her better. And I still don't give her what she deserves. Because I just... Okay, I'll come into that. What was I saying? Yeah, she was diagnosed, back to the topic, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And at the time, I really didn't know how to react. all my signals were like on fire. So I think because of that, I couldn't be sad. I was angry, which I've heard to be a normal response for like teenagers and children, for like when bad things happen to their loved ones, they surpass their sadness by being angry because they don't know how to deal with that sadness. So I was so angry with my mom. How could have my mom left me to be in the hospital? In reality, she needed to be. Like, what do you expect? For her to magically heal? To, like, hang around with you? Well, the way I thought that... Why I thought that was because, like my father was really absent during a lot of time, during all of my childhood, really. Expect those times that he created trauma. Like making snarky remarks and destroying my confidence. Like, he wasn't actively destroying my childhood. He was rather doing it passively. So he was always outside, like playing games with his friends. Actually, that was good because he's like such a sucky person that it was good that he wasn't around. But I would rather him not existing at all. So it was hurtful that to know that you have a father and he's not even around. Like, he just sucks. Like, why do we have him anyway? Like, I really don't think his existence is that important. I really mean that. Like, as a person that is 21 years old, I have accepted that he's not cool, and I'm pretty okay with that. But I really am trying to be honest with myself in that time, and I was really sensitive at those times too. Like, I would see one singular situation with a father and their child in, like, maybe let's say a movie, and I would just cry on the spot. Like, daddy issues much. But really, I wouldn't say that I have daddy issues, because my problems with my dad doesn't affect my choice in my partners in a bad way. And I didn't really see its effect other than the way I behave around those times. I was really angry. Most of my, like I said, I would throw fits at my mother, but not in my father because he was absent. Like, my anger I totally channeled my anger to the wrong person, because the person I didn't have conversations with my father, so I wasn't able to throw up all the rage to him. I didn't even have time to speak with him. So I guess I thought, oh, okay, my mother will do. That sucks. That really sucks. Okay, let's move. I'm going to move on with the sketch soon. This is pretty shit about drawing shitty faces really calm me, and they are my comfort things to draw, so that's why I'm drawing the face. So, me being grandly sad and furious about my mom getting cancer became a huge reason for me to develop some unhealthy habits of